So this is my shit show hat, and it's very worthy of this topic, most definitely. It's worthy of the Jessica, it's worthy of all the topics I've done, because really the content that I put out is digging into things where I see somebody getting thrown under the bus. And if I find and I can prove that the allegations are false, that's what I do. I don't have to know the person. They don't have to be my BFF. All I do is I like to help people out that are getting screwed over by people, you know, mob mentality, witch hunt, whatever you want to call it. And I haven't worn this in a while, and it's kind of cute, right? So apparently these people think it's as long as they do a disclaimer, they can throw out false allegations on delightful days, and as long as they do this stupid ass disclaimer. So just listen to this. It's just so, it is absolutely ridiculous. Disclaimer, the content shared is based on publicly available information and personal concern. It is not intended to defame or slander any individual or organization, but to encourage transparency, accountability, and further investigation where warranted. And then Naomi Perez decides to go out, and now as long as she has a disclaimer, she can defame her all she wants, because we already know from the past videos, we have plenty of proof that if Alicia decided to take legal action, she most definitely could have a defamation case. And this is not going to protect you, sorry. But you know what? Hey, my YouTube channel, I could have a disclaimer too, because this is all public information. Every bit of it, your name, all of it's public information. So Debbie Chang, this young girl, decides to adopt 2 kittens from Delightful Days Cat Sanctuary, and they were underage. They weren't ready to be vaccinated yet, but she was really desperate for the kittens, so she wanted them. So she goes in, and Alicia gives them to her under the understanding that they are underage and they haven't been vaccinated yet, and bring them back when they're ready at age, and bring them back and I'll vaccinate them. And this was the agreement. It's all good. And they made the choice to take the 2 kittens. They take the 2 kittens, and then within 5 days, the post goes up. So right away, there's a post on Living Chandler about this Debbie Chang that adopted 2 kittens from Delightful Days, and they had Pan-Luke. The person that made the post is not Debbie Chang. The girl that actually made the post on Living Chandler is a girl that volunteers for Saving One Life. Saving One Life is a pretty well-known rescue here in Arizona. And Saving One Life has been very prominent in some of the investigations that I've done with the allegations thrown at Delightful Days. So I call Alicia at Delightful Days, and I ask for this girl's phone number. I want to call her because I want to back up these allegations. And that's what I tell her when I get her on the phone. I'm telling her straight up, I just want to back up these allegations, because so many allegations are made with no proof. And once again, it's the same thing. I'm getting all this bullshit with no proof. So give it to me. What vet did you go to? So she tells me she takes these 2 kittens into the vet, and the vet never tested them, never did anything, but gave them gabapentin. And then the kittens go home, and then they're getting sicker and sicker, so she calls Saving One Life. And some volunteers from Saving One Life come out to her home, and they try to give the kittens fluids, try to help them, and then the kittens die within hours from each other. Then what happens is the same post about this Debbie Chang goes up on Arizona Cat and Kittens. And in that post, we have a girl, Parks, Angela Parks. She's doing the same narrative. Pan-Luke, dead kittens, weren't vaccinated. This is the thing. Kittens getting adopted out too soon, not vaccinated, and they die from Pan-Luke. And it's the same thing. And she is a part of rescue as well. I said, you are making some serious allegations about these 2 kittens that have died from Pan-Luke that came out of Delightful Days Cat Sanctuary. You also state that you took the kittens to a vet. I said, can you tell me what vet you took them to? And she tells me the name of the vet. So I decided to go to the vet. So I go inside the vet, and I actually talk to the veterinarian. And normally they wouldn't give out this information, but after I shared with them the allegations and how they stated that the vet gave these kittens gabapentin, they stood up quite clearly and claimed no way, this Debbie Chang never ever came into here with 2 kittens. That is false. She never was in our vet. And then, so then the other thing that hit me during this conversation with Debbie, I said to her, why, if, because first I said, because it said right in there that Saving One Life came out, right? So I said, why did you go to Saving One Life? Why didn't you just go back to Alicia and ask her about what's going on with the kittens? And she then confessed to me that she volunteers for Saving One Life. So then it kind of made sense to me. So we're seeing how these dots get connected here, right? And then she says the biggest thing to her was that the kittens were not vaccinated. And then I had said, well, you made that agreement when you took the kittens. You knew they weren't vaccinated. So why is that her fault? And they really, really are into that vaccination. Meaning if those kittens leave that shop without being vaccinated and they die, it's all because they were not vaccinated.
No, it's all because the person that took the cats took the cats. They
Right.
didn't leave them and wait until the cats could be properly vetted, taken care of, vaccinated, whatever else the process is with that.
Well, and it doesn't come down to that responsibility of them, because let's just say some of the stories are true, which I still really doubt. I mean, I'm just not, nobody is really coming forward with any proof of any of it. So it's hard for me to believe any of these stories are factual outside of the adoptions that we know of, because that's been backed up with Alicia. But she responds back to all these allegations like, where's your proof? And then they, boom, nothing, no response, nothing ever. You know, but their biggest thing with that is this vaccination. And in talking to Debbie, when I told her I have 8 cats and not one of my cats is vaccinated, and she's like, oh, well, you know, that they must have had Pan-Luke before. I'm like, what are you even talking about? I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean they had it? I mean, in her mind, and I don't know if this is a level of brainwashing too with this vaccine, is there's this thing where these kittens do not get vaccinated, then there they go. They right away they can put that, they got Pan-Luke and they died because they were not vaccinated. That's what they're putting it on. You know, because they all are like, they're vaccinated, all of them are, and she actually does vaccinate. You know, but what my point was with Debbie is she was so hooked into this vaccination that is why they died. But they were too young for the vaccination. They had to come back. And they still had the Pan-Luke. Well, what a lot of people don't know too in the story is there was 3 other kittens in this litter and none of them died or had Pan-Luke because it didn't exist. I mean, I still am focused on that. Is that it's not. But what I can prove is I get all I can to prove it to you. But of course, there are things that I can't prove because they're not willing to give me that information because it's going to make them look bad, right? So if I say, prove to me the kittens are dead, I'm a cold-hearted bitch. How dare I ask for that proof? Just believe me, I'm crying over here and bawling my eyes out. Well, no, I want proof. I still want proof. I mean, if you're going to accuse me of something, you better prove it. I want to add this really quick, is Alicia did refund Debbie her money. And she's like, I mean, literally all the blame went on her. And she felt so bad. She never asked for any proof either. I mean, she really did feel bad that these kittens didn't make it. And she refunded the money. And in truth, if this was in a court, there's no way they would have gotten their money back. Not at all. So you're lucky that she was so kind to return your money because you made the choice to take these kittens too soon. And if they did actually die, I mean, you're lucky that she's a good, kind-hearted human with integrity, unlike you people, and returned the money. You know, because I wouldn't have. I'd have been like, you prove it. You ain't getting shit. Sorry, it was your choice. You wanted them early. I told you they weren't vaccinated. You're not getting any money back from me. It's like a deposit.
So,
you gonna cancel your wedding? Too bad. You lose your deposit. I do get that much information, is that she never did go to the vet, and she worked for Saving One Life Rescue. The girl that put up the post works for Saving One Life Rescue. It just all kind of comes back around to me that their involvement is pretty big. And then what happens then after that, and I talked to Debbie Chang, and I wouldn't doubt for a heartbeat that she went back to these people and told them about our conversation and that I was prying into that. And then we get the propaganda then that goes up right away from Naomi Perez. Now, Naomi Perez is involved with Saving One Life Rescue as well. And all this is public information. You go look up the name, you go down, and you see all the fundraisers she's done for Saving One Life, all in support of Saving One Life. And I'll tell you, Naomi is she's been on this witch hunt for a long time with Delightful Days, and she's really been. I would probably put her at the very, very top of ringleader type of getting everybody to follow her narrative. She'll pull. Everybody trusts her and believes her, and maybe she does do some good. I don't know. All I see here is her really tearing someone apart with no evidence at all, and the lies that she's spewing out of her mouth, which she is, and the things that she's done to be destructive and hurtful to somebody. And she also is admin for Feral Cats of Arizona. And I'm putting this out there directly because it needs to be heard. These groups, these admins, need to take responsibility for what's being posted. And I just want to ask Naomi, how would you feel if it was turned on you? If everybody started turning on you and started posting fake allegations and fake claims against you? And with her knowing, and so now her thing is just call animal control. So I did that too. And I called animal control and I had a talk with them. And there was no open case on Delightful Days Cat Sanctuary. There's never been a case on Delightful Days Cat Sanctuary. And I proved that back when I talked to Mesa PD when she was vandalized. And they told me straight up that they've been in her store. There are no sick cats. They're well loved and well cared for. There was no case against her at all. So that really is kind of the end of the story.
It's a closed case with a bunch of closed minds.
Ooh, very good. Yeah, closed case, closed minds.
Okay, so my question here is, with all the video work that you've done with this situation, every time you've requested proof from these people to support their allegations, photos, video, documentation, police reports, and there's been nothing provided.
No, nothing.
Okay, so now you have this over here, which is a disclaimer. What is the use for a disclaimer if you can produce the proof, your accusations are factual, and you can make actual proof, show it, then you don't need a disclaimer because you can prove what you're saying is factual.
I don't.
When you're not proving
Right.
what you're saying is factual, then you better have a disclaimer because now you're defaming and you can end up in court with it.
Well, sure, but this disclaimer doesn't do shit.
Well, it's a ridiculous joke.
Right.
My point is that there'd be no need for a disclaimer if these people, if they had the actual facts, if they had documentation, like I said, had any video, like I said, any photos,
Right.
any vet bills, any information documented from the vet, police departments, etc., to back up every claim that they're making here, they would have no need for a disclaimer.
Well, to me,
Period.
this is just an idiot. I mean, really, right? I mean, she's like, she's going to do this propaganda because she's going to get out, but she wants to make sure she has this ridiculous disclaimer saying, but I'm not defaming. Well, you are defaming. I mean, she absolutely is defaming
Well-
because she can't prove any of it.
And to end up in court with a situation like this, I'm not a legal scholar, I'm not an attorney, but it seems to me to make logical sense that if she was taken into court, or any of these people were taken into court for making these accusations, it would be up to them to provide the proof at that point in time
Right.
in a court of law
Right.
to substantiate the accusations that they are making.
Well, right.
And they can't do it.
No.
And so if she thinks, I'm sure the disclaimer is ridiculous, but it's more the point of relying on a disclaimer now to keep yourself out of trouble
Right.
because you still can't support your accusations with facts.
And they're not proving it. And I know I've repeated this like 100 times, and I keep saying it over and over again, is all these people, to me, it's just all, it just seems to be coming back to saving one life, where they have all these volunteers. Now, whether the main people of Saving One Life are aware of this with their volunteers, what they're spreading, the propaganda they're spreading, I don't know. But the volunteers are most definitely a part of it. Can track so many of these sheep that are involved in this that they track back. They'll do a post, and at the end of it, oh, but Saving One Life is a great rescue. Don't go to Delightful Days, but Saving One Life is a great rescue. So they keep falling back into that again. I can't like bang my head against the wall with understanding why these people think that what they're doing is okay, or why they're still attached to their lies about her. And when I have shown all that, and in this video, I'm not doing that because it doesn't seem to matter. You know, I've put up the screenshots, I've shown it, I've discredited, I've done all of that. Anybody that defends her and has had really good experience, they get slandered big time, and they get thrown to the wolves. How dare you defend her? And I know two of them personally that really got the shit beat out of them for saying they had a good experience with her. These people up here, they have their own agenda. And if you look at another rescue that thinks they're all that and the best, SOL, shit out of luck. Shit out of luck. And they don't want the competition, which is ridiculous when you're an animal helping animals. But there's way too many things that connect Saving One Life. Way too many. And if there was going to be anybody that I would look at for a lawsuit or anything like that, it would be Saving One Life. So, and Naomi Perez, you know, she just, she needs to get back on her knees. Or my ending is give them enough rope and they'll hang themselves. That's about it too. Thank you.